This episode of the Wrong Advice podcast is powered by Harlow, the only woman-owned lighting brand for photographers, videographers, filmmakers, and content creators. Designed for those who push creative boundaries, Harlow lights are compact, powerful, and built to inspire. Harlow creates tools that stand the test of time, crafted for those who see light as an art form. Harlow believes that your light can be bold, powerful, and beautiful, and that it deserves to be seen. Visit Harlow online at www.harlow.com or follow them on Instagram at Harlow Creators. Welcome back to the Wrong Advice podcast. I'm your host, John Pacino. I'm very excited to be joined by the one and only Mr. Jaime Fernandez. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
Good. For anybody that might have known me, my name is Jaime Fernandez. Jay works.
Yeah.
Jamie does not work.
Okay. I was not going to call you Jamie.
Oh, good.
I did, although it does come up as
Yeah.
Jaime.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, anybody with common sense would see my name right before Fernandez de Bernabe, and would assume it's not Jamie. But guess what? It happens a lot.
I made sure to pronunciate it with a little hyphen over. I'm just kidding. Can you give a quick introduction to the listeners of who you are?
I'm Jaime Fernandez, and I work as a creative director at an advertising agency. But I've been shooting for about 15 years. I've been shooting photography. Mostly started being portraits, and then it turned a little bit into fashion. And then street photography has always been what I do when I went from my house to work, but without thinking about doing anything else. It was kind of like a release of tension. I made myself carry always a camera in my hand.
Oh, I love that.
So when I was living in New York, actually, I lived here for 6 years. And every single day from my house to work, I would shoot, 10 to 15 pictures, and the same way on the way back. And I ended up just opening a whole separate Instagram that it was street photography that I ended up at the end combining again into one.
Yeah.
Because I have way too many accounts right now. So,
I did notice that. So I just bought my first motorcycle. So
nice.
I noticed your motorcycle account. Talk to me. So you started photography 15 years ago. Was it more out of like a necessity, something that you like needed to do, or like what was like the process like buying your first camera and starting?
I usually don't think about this, but I guess it's kind of the same reason why I got into advertising, but that was a route that was like a tangent. I don't know how it happened. But my first interest was special effects.
Oh, cool.
Of movies. I was always very interested in like flame on.
Yeah.
The flame coming up. So I started doing that. I started doing a video, and then I realized how hard it was to learn back then. I was like 14, 15, combustion, and like other editing videos. And then I was like, well, let me just try with Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I started doing mock-ups, and then I liked better the obviously, based on my skill set.
Sure.
I liked better the results in pictures than on video. So I kept leaning onto that farther and farther and farther. And I completely abandoned that. I started shooting portraits and completely abandoned the special effects until, 8 years ago when I was living in New York and decided to do a series of superheroes.
Oh, sweet.
Before I left New York, because I was like, the only place where I could do this is in New York, and I'm moving to California, and that's not gonna work there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but in all the meantime, I shot portraits, street photography going to work, and then I leaned into fashion about like 9 years ago or something like that.
Nice. Yeah, I'm working a similar path. Like I got laid off from a job in 2020, and then I bought my first camera with my severance package, and great use of money. I bought a Leica M6 on eBay.
Oh, great first camera too.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had cameras beforehand, but my first like real camera, like a film camera, and I went on a road trip and I just fell in love with it, and I was like, this is what, when you have like that moment in your life where you're like, oh fuck, what the hell am I gonna do? Like I was blessed with this opportunity and I fell in love with it, right? So like serendipity, it worked out for a reason. And it's funny because like I really, the idea of documentary photography like really stuck into my head, and like I digested every documentary. Like the Vivian Maier documentary came out 2 seconds after I lost my job. I probably watched it like 10 times, and I fell in love with street photography, and now I'm moving more into fashion photography as well. I think it's very funny to have like similar paths like that.
Fashion is now like my secret peeve, kind of. I don't do it often. But for other people, this is often. I do it every weekend.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much. But now I kind of created this other style of business. So I have a side business with a friend of fashion photography. I'll explain a little bit. So I met this guy, Chema Suarez, in like 2017, something like that, and we were connected by an influencer. And initially, the influencer that connected us was saying, "You should become an influencer, Chema, because this is the way." You know, everybody
right.
for influencers, the only way is being an influencer. So Chema and I got together and started trying different avenues of possible businesses, and always including him being a model and me being a photographer.
Right.
Because I completely refused from doing any video whatsoever at the time.
I know what that feels like.
At the time.
Yeah.
So we ended up creating this business where he is the hook, because through the test and trial, we built his following a lot. I mean, from like, I don't know, like 2,000 followers to like now is, I think, around 44,000, something like that.
Nice.
And then what we created is this business where brands reach out to him to do the classic UGC or post about our brand or whatever, and we're like, actually, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna create this package of content.
Yeah.
And sell it to you, quote unquote, like an agency.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great idea.
So instead of doing the classic post, look at my lotion and I use it in my face, what we do is we actually create a video of how would he use this lotion.
Yeah.
First of all, he uses it for like a week, and then we do the shoot. Because if he doesn't like it, we don't.
Ooh, I mean, that's great. So I like that so much of. I hate when I see like a non-authentic influencer, like clearly, like I saw like this girl did a coffee ad yesterday. She drinks matcha every day. Don't hit me with Dunkin' Donuts. I know you don't like coffee. That's a lie. Like just
so
the authenticity needs to be there.
One thing I would never do, because I don't drink coffee, so I would never see that.
Wow.
I don't drink coffee.
How do you survive?
I don't drink alcohol, any of that. I drink orange juice and water.
Okay, I fucking love orange juice. That being said, I wouldn't be able to survive without coffee. I don't know. God bless you. Wow, good for you.
So anyway, that's the side business that I do with this guy. Any other photography now, this is very useful because all that I do work related is with him.
Yeah.
All that I do, the rest of it is for myself.
That's awesome.
So even when you see collaborations with Harlow, that's all for myself.
Nice.
Nobody really is pushing me to do anything, nor I think I wouldn't accept it unless it's like an incredible opportunity.
Sure.
But I have a lot of fun going out to shoot with Bowser, with my own kid, and that's kind of what we do.
That's awesome. So your journey's a lot longer than mine. I've only been doing this for like 4 years now. I'm curious, like 15 years in, I've found recently that I've just started to like really find my tribe and like my group of people that I can rely on to help me like grow and mature as a photographer and really as like a human. Talk to me like what that process was like early on in your career when you like started finding the people that like helped develop you as a person.
We might be in the same track. Because,
I hope so.
No, we're in the same track.
Yeah, I hope so.
Even timeline-wise.
Yeah.
I think... So I think inspiration is a big part of it. And I think when you buy a Leica, things change.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it's that much about the product, but about the passion that people that shoot with it have to connect with each other, for example. I shot for a long time with Canon, and then when the Sony Alpha came out, I was like all in on that, and I'm still in on it. All I use for work is Sony Alpha 7R5, FX3, FX6.
Nice.
I just got my first Commodore X for video.
Sweet.
Because obviously I had to adapt.
Sure, yeah.
And Bowser forced me a little bit.
Yeah, so they tell us. Yeah.
But when I got my first Leica, this new open door came up, and you start meeting a lot of people that actually inspire you. Because I don't think Sony and the other brands have this community so tight.
No.
That and then you also reconnect with old friends. Like right now we're with Jason that has been on your podcast.
Yeah.
We knew each other from a long time ago, but then we reconnected and got tighter because of Leica.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because it is like, you're 100% right. The other brands, they make everyone makes incredible cameras, right? The stuff is all incredible. But what differentiates that stuff is the community. And it's super nice to be able to like have that camaraderie that I think some of those other brands don't have and they lack. And they could learn a lot from Leica from that, for sure. I mean, I've always felt like everyone's very inclusive in the Leica community. It's not like, there's no gatekeeping or anything. And a lot of the other brands, they have that like barrier up. It's like, it's like an old school club or something.
I think in the last few years, it's been a sweet spot for Leica.
Yeah.
Because we are the ones that are kind of coming in to refresh the audience.
Yeah.
So we are all, at the beginning when you buy your camera, you're like, or at least that's what I felt. I was like, well, this like piece of market is usually dominated by older men that have the money to spend it on a Leica.
For sure.
And then you kind of feel like, oh, am I the only one? And then when you realize that you're not, you're like, oh, cool, you're like me.
Yeah.
And then it kind of makes everybody that is our relative age kind of get tighter,
My favorite thing is when you're just on the streets and like you see someone else with a Leica, you're like, oh, I got 10 minutes now to talk to this guy.
What?
Like it.
It's very much like motorcycle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
You're riding a motorcycle. Another random guy is riding whatever other motorcycle, and you give yourself the salute.
Do you know what's funny? So I was a little worried about that, right? Because you hear all these stories like, oh, everyone's like so like cliquey in the motorcycle world. I've had my bike for probably almost a year now, so like 8 months, 9 months, and I found everyone's been super nice. Like rest stops, really nice, and they'll approach you and talk to you about it. Because like
How deep are you in this community?
I mean like a year, so not very deep, but like.
But connections and stuff.
Yeah, no, I have one buddy.
You don't go to two-wheel Tuesdays.
No, not yet.
New York is amazing for this.
Oh, okay.
You don't ride during the whole year.
Yeah.
You only ride when you can.
Yeah.
So the community like flourishes, kind of like Woman in the Summer. The community flourishes when there's good weather. So, there's the two-wheel Tuesdays. Jane Motorcycle opens up the whole doors and the coffee place. Have you been in Jane Motorcycle? Union Garage is like a landmark.
I gotta check it out.
Motorcycles. Oh yeah, I'll give.
I'm in Jersey, so yeah.
Full list.
Sick. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, so it's funny because obviously my mom's like, please don't die, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's not my goal either.
I mean, it's hard to die in New York City.
I'm in Jersey, so it's probably easier.
It is easier.
But I fucking love it. There's like, so I bought it. I got it in like October. So it was like the dumbest time to buy a motorcycle.
Well, best prices though.
Best prices. I did well, and then I parked it for like 3 months, and it finally came out. And when the
changed the battery.
Yeah, right. it started right up. It's a brand new bike. I bought a Triumph Bonneville T120.
Okay, great.
Love it. Fucking love it. The process of riding, this is gonna sound mad cheesy. It's kind of like praying. I feel very focused because I'm not distracted by anything. My cell phone's turned off. I'm like very primally aware of what's going on around me so I don't get fucking killed, and it's fucking great. I love it.
That's why we all do it.
Yeah.
They say that there's no motorcycles outside the door of a therapist. because everybody in the motorcycles doesn't need a therapist. The therapy is the motorcycle. When I up to today, that by the way, I don't ride that often anymore because I'll tell you a whole story about Los Pepes, which is my motorcycle club that I started.
Sweet.
Started in New York. It had like a lot of up and downs. I don't ride that often right now, but I still, when I get very mad, the first thing I do is jump into a motorcycle and go up to a mountain.
Yeah.
And then 45 minutes after, it's like...
Yeah, it's crazy. And like, I bought the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, and like, I'm like really getting into it. And I love this idea that I have like an outlet that's not, booze or therapy or whatever.
Right.
That's something just for me. And man, it's made a big impact.
Well, here's the trick. Mix both.
Yeah.
Motorcycles and cameras.
Yeah. I'm fucked now.
And that's it.
My bank account hates me.
No, but I mean,
between my Leica
to me, the most relaxing thing is going with two friends. This is gonna sound weird, but this is the thing that makes me relax more from any situation. Is I'm riding my motorcycle, and I do this because I used to have high bars.
Yeah.
And my mirrors were down.
Yeah. Okay.
And I look. And I have like 3 or 4 guys right behind me, kind of like the feeling of they have my back.
Yeah.
And you're riding, and it's like the wind, the smells of whatever nature you're in.
Yeah.
And motorcycles right behind you, dude, and the feeling of somebody having your back is like ridiculous.
I gotta do that. I've only been out with one buddy, so I have nothing to relate it to. I'm brand new. Like I'm 5 minutes into this.
I'm telling you, the experience we had in Los Pepes, if you watch the movie The Bike Rider.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, sweet.
We lived through.
Nice.
We started the club, and we started it here. I started it here, and I just only started to hang out with new people.
Awesome.
So it was 5 of us in New York City. I made a design that said Los Pepes MC.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
I put MC because I liked it from Sons of Anarchy or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Awesome show.
And then somebody told me, you're going to get in trouble. you can't say that you're a motorcycle company, motorcycle
Club.
club if you're not blessed by the guys that rule the area.
Oh shit.
And so I had to go to the Hells Angels to make them approve my designs. So every time I would come up with something, I would have to go to the Hells Angels and in second and third and get it approved. The building is not there anymore, but it used to be there for like
50 years. Yeah.
And so I went there every 2-3 weeks. Hey, what's up, man? I made new T-shirts. What do you guys think? And the president ended up coming out and said, bro, if you don't claim a territory, do whatever you want.
Right.
This was great in New York.
Yeah, because nobody gives a
What I
shit.
didn't expect is when I go to LA,
It's worse.
it's not just worse. Hells Angels don't rule the area.
Oh.
And we turned from 5 to 45.
Oh shit.
And we're all riding Harley Davidson's club style and shooting content left and right. Instagram blew up to 10,000, 14,000 followers.
Yeah.
Everybody in the community in LA knew who we were. Also, we're riding down the street 45 people.
That's a shit
lot
ton.
of noise.
Yeah, right.
So guys started being followed by the Mongols home,
Ooh.
by the Vagos. I started getting death threats on the phone. Just randomly people would call me and be like, you're going to die in the next fucking event. Hang up the phone. And I'm like, what? And this is just because I wanted to shoot pictures of friends riding motorcycles and go to breakfast. That's what we did.
Fucked up.
We didn't do anything illegal. We didn't ride more than an hour. That's it. 1 hour a week. So anyway,
That's wild.
We ended up selling. We go very limited with the people that we invited because some of the open rides ended up being people from clubs without their clothes coming to see what we would do.
Yeah.
And we couldn't control that. So I was like, I'm going to do a little bit more private because I'm going to get shot.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You know?
yeah, that's not the idea.
No. So anyway, it took a turn, and then some people move away. Some people, one of them is Bowser, right here, creeping into the camera. But
That's awesome. So I find both. So like I wouldn't say like my commercial work is very meditative. I think that's stressful. So like fashion stuff in my studio, like I find that the stakes are a little bit higher. But like street photography and motorcycle riding, I get a very similar feeling, which to me, it makes me realize that it's the right thing to do, right? So like when I got that feeling when I first picked up a camera, it's sort of like the same way when I got on my bike. So like when I know that I get that like weird feeling inside, like in my gut or my balls or something, like I know that I'm after the right thing. How long into your photo career did you think that you like made the right decision, like that you felt you were like in doing the right thing? Do you yet?
you see my face changing. I don't know yet, bro. I honestly, I keep doing it with the hope that I feel that way one day.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yes, I mean shooting is definitely the right thing for me. I really much enjoy it, especially that kind of superpower of stopping time.
Yeah.
Is what drives me to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I do have that feeling that something is about to happen, and I'm able to get ready and shoot it. So I kind of feel like I have that superpower. So I don't know. I keep doing it because I really like it. That's it. There's no other motivation usually, because I keep it in very different lanes. Like I was telling you, the business side and the for fun side.
Yeah.
And everything I shoot with Leica is something that I want to shoot.
Yeah.
Something that I shoot on the business side is with Sony, and I keep it separate. So I don't know if there's a moment like that for me. There's like I'm going on the right path. Every time that I see my watch 11/11, which is my birthday.
Shit.
And Kieran's birthday.
Yeah.
I was like, keep doing what you're doing. I literally tell that to myself, but
Same.
I don't know if I'm doing it right or not. I just say do the same.
That's like personally, like I don't think imposter syndrome or though like this self-doubt ever goes away as a creative. And I've only been doing it for
because I'm alone.
No, well, I think it's so motivating. It's like it's triggering, but it's also motivating, right? It's like makes me realize like, okay, I can still learn shit. I can still grow. I can still develop. Like there's things I'm gonna learn new all the time from meeting new people.
I was just having an interview at Build with Markman.
Oh, sick!
And I
Amazing.
asked him, one of the questions I asked, where do you get inspiration, and how do you get yourself out of those moments when you feel that that you're not good enough, or are you good enough, or you self-doubt yourself. And he said, well, the moment that you stop questioning if you're good enough is when you stop learning, because if you think you're good enough for that you're good enough, then you have nothing to learn.
Damn.
And I was like, well, I'm not alone, thank God.
Well, Mark Mann says it.
Yes, exactly.
It's a pretty good place to be.
Somebody like that.
Yeah. Epic career, and
widely known,
Wow, I really like that. Okay, so no complacency. Complacency is a killer. You can't think that you've arrived, and
I think I agree. In simpler words, if you think you're the shit, you're pretty much done.
I've never felt that way in my entire life.
No, me neither. I wish I did one day.
It's like, it might be kind of nice.
Yeah, I thought about it all the time. I was like, I wish I could have a taste of it, at least.
5 minutes.
Yeah. You know what? I do have a taste of it.
Okay. What
But
was
it's
it?
not really. It's just writing.
Oh.
I do think that I mean, it's years and years. I started writing when I was 19.
Okay.
And I'm about to turn 40.
Me too.
So
We're a month apart.
I'm very, very comfortable on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Even falling, I'm okay. I know I'm not gonna get, unless somebody hits me
Yeah.
with a car.
Yeah.
I fall in. I ride as I'm shooting pictures. So I've gotten.
Wait, I think I saw a video of you doing this.
No, well, that one is mild because Leica was gonna be behind it.
Okay.
So I did it mildly, but I have. I mean, what I do is I put in cruise control because my bike has cruise control, and I turn around completely and shoot backwards while I'm riding.
That's insane.
And so one of the last accidents was like when I turned back, the wheel was already in the air because it hit a bump.
Oh fuck.
And I just like tucked the camera on me, like.
And you're fine.
Yeah, I mean you're fine. You get burned, but it's fine.
You got fucked up. Yeah.
It's not. I'm not concerned about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that in that moment I do feel like, oh, I got it.
I whiskey throttled the day I bought my bike and dumped it in the parking lot. Not in the parking lot, like 1/4 mile from the parking lot, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, because
I think I got out of the way.
You know how to do it.
Yeah. Mom, don't listen to that. That never happened.
This is not up to moms.
She's not gonna listen. Don't worry.
That's good.
So it's funny. So you're turning 40 in November.
November 11th.
So I turn 40 December 17th. I have started like a little bit of goal of mine, like post a photo every day, lose some weight because I'm a fat fuck, and like just be a better person 6 months from now, leading up to my 40th birthday.
Seems like we're the same goals. We have the same goals.
That's a good goal to have, though, right? So that's what I was gonna say. Have you like put any thought into like? I know it's a big number, and I think I was more afraid of 30 than 40 because the person I am at 39, just I'm so much more developed of a human being than I was at 29. So when you like head into this like big number, like do you plan, like do you put any like?
I don't know because I can't do it every year.
Yeah, no, just the big ones.
Instead of my birthday, I do it December 31st. And honestly, I procrastinate, so I probably start the list at September. But I do start the list in September every year, and I say, okay, before December, this needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's very ambitious, one picture every day.
Yeah.
Because if then when you fail once, you're like, fuck it, I already failed. So
I'm not gonna fail. I'm gonna do it.
No, I know, but it's hard because sometimes things happen that you can't control.
For sure.
So
yeah.
I guess unless you post twice the next day,
it's cheating though.
It's for me going to the gym, once I go to the gym 2 weeks in a row, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't have to go tomorrow. I've been very consistent, and then once you're not consistent, it's game over.
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting point because I think for a lot of my fitness journey and like just life in general, there's always this mindset I can do it tomorrow. So I could put off anything till tomorrow, and then you realize when like I'll look at a reminder I have on my phone, and that it was like 3 weeks ago that I set out to do this. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? And I know they say life is what happens when you're busy making other plans, but I also think that if you're not very mindful of your time, you can let a lot of things go by.
Oh, and one thing, I do put myself a challenge, and I don't know if you do this, you probably should.
Yeah.
It's everybody should. Something that you're embarrassed to do, but you do want to do, I have to do once
a year. Like what? Give me an example.
Well, the last year, I really, really like singing, but I don't think anybody wants to hear it. So I did make myself the challenge of having to post on Instagram a video of me singing.
I love that.
Luckily, nobody has said anything, so or it wasn't that bad, or it was, and nobody wants to say it.
I think people probably like applaud the courageousness, right?
I don't even want to know. I just did it.
You turned the comments off.
Checked it, and I don't want to hear about it.
Wait, I like that though.
But yeah, I think getting out of the comfort zone is important.
I think that's probably when the greatest things can happen. Like when you put yourself in an uncomfortable position, like it's so easy to say no. But like I've been really focused on trying to say yes to stuff and like go outside of my comfort zone and try to like develop a new part of myself that I wouldn't have if I said no. So this year, what is your challenge for yourself to do something uncomfortable?
Well, I'm already doing it. It's I hate being in camera.
Oh, really?
So I'm currently doing it. No, I hate being in camera because obviously as somebody with an accent, no, you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
No, you wanna hear it again. And to be in camera, you have to edit your own videos.
Yeah.
So you have to listen and listen and listen and listen to yourself, which usually are is very uncomfortable for everyone
Sure.
to listen to yourself. But if you have an extra accent,
Unless
that's
you're
even
a
worse.
giant narcissist.
Correct. Unless you really, really like yourself
Yeah.
and your voice.
Yeah, I don't. And
No.
this is, believe it or not, this is the 150th episode of this podcast, which I think is pretty fucking awesome. Doing it in the Leica store and meatpacking is...
So you like yourself?
No, no.
Just kidding, I'm
I
kidding.
hate... So it's funny. The podcast doesn't take any time to do. We do an hour, right? It's super
Right.
easy. Quick and dry. Like, it's over before you even realize. The editing process takes me forever. Because I could do like 10, 12 minutes, and then I can't fucking listen to myself anymore. And I'm like, God damn it. But, you got to check to see what's being said and, like, be mindful of it. And I'm like, it takes me, like, a day to edit a podcast that's 1 hour.
I have various levels of self-hate
Yeah,
in
same.
that aspect.
Yes.
When I'm talking like this, I hear it and I cringe as fuck.
No. Yeah.
But it's worse when I'm doing voiceovers.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, the Harlow video that I
it's
did
good.
with my kid.
Yeah.
You think it's good.
Yeah.
But I hear everything that is not normal with me. And I'm like, since the last time, I don't know why the heck do I put this voice. And I hate it.
I think it's
Because
good.
I'm trying to not have an accent. And my wife is like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't know how to not do it.
So that is something that you should work on, putting yourself and being more comfortable in
So
your
now
own. Yeah.
my challenge is to, and again, I'm doing the same as you, which I don't know how long it's gonna last. Hopefully, I can keep it up. Put a video on YouTube every week.
Good.
Because I did a couple of videos, and my audience like grew up like times 3.
Sweet.
In 3 videos.
Yeah.
That's it. It was from 200 to 600.
That's awesome.
It wasn't thousands or anything, but
So it's so funny. So I think partly because I'm old now, like I'm gonna be 40. I when I first started, I had so much fucking mindset on the number next to my name, and as I've gotten older, I realize it's not the number, it's like the people that are there. Like if you have 500 followers and they all like your shit all the time, that's way better than a million and you get nothing, right?
when I was telling you before we started that I did a 25 episode podcast.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the 25 episodes, I didn't care if anybody listened.
Yeah.
I got to talk to 25 people
Yeah.
that I would have never.
I love that.
Because I sold them on it.
Yeah.
For example, I met the owners. Do you know the magazine Vanna?
What is it?
Vanna is a motorcycle magazine.
No.
It's like the magazine of the industry.
Okay.
There's like incredible shit.
I'll check it out.
The art direction is incredible. It's basically a 2-man show.
Sweet.
It's great.
New York or where they
it's-
based
It's from Colorado.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
But it was great. It's
Okay.
great. So I get to talk to the owners.
Mm-hmm.
I got to meet Matt Ledlow, a owner of a humongous dealership of Harley Davidson in LA. I mean, the people, McIntyre, the owner of Eagle Rider.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I mean, people that I would have never gotten to meet
Yeah.
unless I sold them into the idea that I had a podcast and that let's hang out,
Same. I mean, I say a lot, this is the greatest joy of my life. I don't need to make millions of dollars off of this. The people that I get to meet, the conversations I get to have, do something internally to me that I don't think anything else I do in life will ever touch.
I mean, yeah. I mean, where's the difference that you get to meet? I don't know. Who was the last person that you interviewed? Before me.
Minxie White. She's a Leica photographer. Do you know Minxie?
I don't.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen her name somewhere.
Yeah. She shot I believe the SL2 or SL3.
So you're going downhill.
Yeah. See, that's self-deprecating. It was funny, but that's very self-deprecating. Minxie is amazing. I loved her, and she was great. And shout out to Kieran, who set us up and set me and Minxie up.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But yeah, Minxie was the last episode, and Oliver Halfin. Do you know Oliver? I think he lives in LA. Or no, he just moved to New York. I just had Oliver on.
I don't know. I saw Kevin Pinedas.
Yeah.
And
Kevin's
yeah,
the man.
Makes it like, I'm sure it's like
Yeah.
very successful, and then you have me. No, I think you wouldn't have had those conversations unless you were doing this. And I don't think.
I totally agree.
And I don't think saying this is sponsored by Leica. They pay me $2,000 to do this. I think that
That'd be
doesn't
nice.
change anything.
No, it doesn't. I think they're
$2,000 richer. That changes.
Yes,
something.
yes, for
But
sure.
I mean,
It would be nice. It's rent.
Your experience is probably better. than
1,000%.
$2,000.
There's something that happens in the process of having the conversations and in the editing process where I get to learn the same thing twice. So like I'll take a lot from this conversation that we have, and then I'll walk away and it'll impart me in some way, and then like 3-4 days from now when I edit it, it comes back again. So it's nice because I get to kind of relive it 2 times. And I say all the time, I steal from these conversations. They're just so inspiring to me because, like, you know, maybe you think you're a step down from somebody else that I've had on the podcast, but like to me, you're miles ahead of where I want to be. So like your career is very inspiring to me.
That was self-deprecating too.
I'm also like a realist. So it's like, you know, it's you know, 6 in one half doesn't have another.
It's all perception.
It is all perception. It is. And at the end of the day, like I sleep well, and I'm like very thankful every day for whatever I could call my career, right? Like I think it took a long time doing a lot of things that I didn't love to like find a place where I'm like really happy, comfortable. What was your journey like in terms of like pre-photography, pre-falling in love with this thing?
So, like I said, I work as a creative director in advertising, and in the industry that I work with is pharmaceutical.
Oh,
It's
very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very, very regulated.
Yeah.
And creativity has a lot of
Restraints.
and
Yeah.
guidelines.
Yeah.
So it's very liberating for me. When I get out of there, I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And it's happened in the past that the CEO or the president of the company would come and say, why doesn't the work of the company look like your personal work? And I was like, because I do what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Nobody comes here, starting by you,
Yeah.
telling me what to do,
Yeah.
or give me changes. I don't have a pain in the ass client because they hire me, or I do this without a client, and nobody's it's basically my own expression.
Yeah.
It's not regulated by anybody else. So how would the company's work look like mine when your client is Pfizer? It's not, but but similar.
But insert major pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
It's tough. How do you find like your own self-creative inspiration? Like, you know, when you're like working on a personal project or putting the concepts together for something new, like what inspires you?
So to me, it's never about myself.
Oh.
And I try and find somebody that I admire in something. And that could be a person particularly or a collective of people. As an example, I worked on a project with the M11-P with Leica Spain. And I mean, usually they say do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I kind of had sold them in this idea of showing the resilience of the Mexican people in general. So when it came to it, I had exactly 3 days to do the project. And I live in California, not in Mexico.
Yeah.
So the quick idea that I had was, well, let's compare low possibilities and attitude together from Tijuana to downtown LA. So in downtown LA, there's a lot of homeless.
Yeah.
In Tijuana, there's people that probably have less money than the homeless because they don't have food stamps, they don't have, you know, help from the government, or they're not as lucky as other people in the US. When you go to Tijuana and you approach it this way, you realize that with no income almost whatsoever, people are smiling and they cracking jokes, especially I speak Spanish, so it's very easy for that connection to happen. And the level of happiness that I encountered there with the lowest amount of income was incredible. And then I came back to downtown LA. I went to Skid Row at 7 a.m. Same people that were in Tijuana represented in, they were giving food, coffee in the morning to the homeless people in downtown LA, which it was like something I wasn't even expecting.
Wow.
And it wasn't calculated.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a coincidence, dude. The people that were in Tijuana being very happy with selling things that are $2, $1 in the line to come into the US are here with the pretext of religion, you know, with a Bible and giving the word out, but still giving donuts and sandwiches and coffee to homeless people that are very pissed and deep in misery. I mean, depression is a very big problem in the US, and if you're homeless, you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
So, but still, it was very surprising to me, and it inspired me to see that difference, that contrast between, you know, different people.
What did you steal from that, like, experience? Because I could imagine that would provide a sense of security for myself, and also like this like wildly deep rooted belief of how lucky I am.
Why would you say that? Why would why do you take that?
So I think like maybe 35 or whatever, like I lost everything, right? Like I lost my job, were it not for my family and like the financial aid of them, I would have been, you know, if I didn't have the family that I had, God, who knows, right? So I consider myself, with the benefit of like the best support system on earth, very lucky. I think when you go through that sort of experience where like you're about to get evicted and like life is just fucking messy, life starts becoming a little bit more vibrant for me, right? So like right around 35, 36 is when I like really realized that all of my blessings in life are there for me to see. But it's hard sometimes to see that, right? Well, what's the expression? You can't see the forest through the trees, right? I'm like, you know, yeah, I have no money, but I was healthy, right? Like I had no money, but like my parents are alive. I have no health. I had no money, but like my brother and sister were in my life. So like when you go through negative experiences, I think the flip side of it is like how much it makes you to be thankful for things.
So what I learned with it is there's so many levels there's so many levels on every aspect that I don't think I can comprehend it. And I think that's what attracts me to this situation, to shoot them, to document them. Even after documenting them, I might still not even understand it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you were 35 and you had no money, but I don't think you had no money like people in Tijuana.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And that's something that, well, fortunately for us, but also unfortunately, we'll never know what it is.
No, you're right.
Because I don't know about you, but I have a very comfortable safety net.
Yes.
My family's in Spain, and if everything went wrong, I just go back there
and
I'll chill. You know, but so
my brother's got a great couch. Yeah,
and that's one of the things that I don't know how much can I tell you about his project, but Jason kind of opened my eyes to. He said, anyway, the conversation ended up, he showed me one of his projects, and I very ignorantly asked him, well, I don't understand this. Why would you feel threatened when you went to this place in the middle of the country? Everybody's chill there.
Yeah.
They're like, I didn't see it because you
have a different experience. Yeah.
First of all, I haven't experienced it. Second of all, I'm not even from this country. The history is not very recent on me.
Yes.
And then, you know, he opened my eyes to, bro, when you get out of the car, you get out and walk into Walmart and you don't question anything else.
Yeah.
When a person like me of color gets out of the car, first of all, is concerned about who is around, who parked right next to me, look at the stickers, look at things that I never, ever even
How
think
fucked up
about.
is that? Yeah.
And so that's what I'm telling you. There's levels of knowledge and ignorance that I guess we don't have because we don't have to have them.
We never had the experience.
It's not our fault,
Yeah.
but also we can't really comprehend it. So I think it awoken on me a little bit more of curiosity to document things that I don't understand.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
And again, the same thing with photography. I used to think, oh, that picture is shit or whatever. And then years after, I would be like, holy shit, I was so wrong.
Yeah.
So now when I see something my brain is telling me you don't like that shit, I think I might not be ready for it yet.
Ooh.
Because I don't know what's coming later, and maybe I understand it then and not now.
Oh, that's really beautiful.
So sometimes I see something and people ask me, what do you think about that? And if I don't like it, I was like, I don't know yet.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Because I just don't know. Because I might be wrong right now, and I don't want to be wrong in general.
Yeah.
So, or I say I really like it, and then if it's shit, I fucked up.
Yeah, right.
But it's better fucking up positively than saying, "Oh, that sucks." And
that
then
is, yeah.
They
yeah.
remain me like the person.
Yeah. Remember that asshole?
Yeah, this guy Gibson's picture, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah. That's actually hilarious. I actually think the mindset in general is very powerful, very beautiful. I don't know yet. I like that. Because so much about life is like, a lot of it is like being a know-it-all, right? Like you get points for having an answer to every question
and a very strong idea, opinion.
Yeah. I really like that. I think it's okay not to know.
It's changed so much in the last few years, and again, Kieran, big Kieran a big influence in my life.
Yeah, the best. Literally the best.
Like a community and getting in touch with not just other people, but other people from different cultures, different backgrounds. They experience things that I don't experience. I don't know, Gadget's working in his video.
He's incredible.
Incredible stuff. That
incredible.
I look at it and I was like, holy shit, this happens?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know, that's the level of ignorance.
Yes.
I grew up in a full-on bubble.
Yeah. No, I think about that all the time. Yeah.
Where my best friend is possibly very brown, and I never noticed.
Yeah.
And then I get here and I was like, wait a minute, dude. I called him the other day and I was like, are you black, dude? And he's like, I don't think so. He doesn't even know. Because we don't have this history.
It's different culture over there, though. The U.S. obviously. I mean, I'm sure you watch the news. We're quite divisive as a people. Yeah. It's not the same in Europe. I mean, I would wish I had the money.
A black person from Africa that speaks with a big accent, you notice.
For sure.
But
for sure.
A guy. That's the thing. Spain got conquered about 4 or 5 times by Romans, Moors.
For sure.
The mix that we have there.
Yeah.
I don't think we have time to define who's what.
No, of course not.
Because we're all mixed by everything.
Yeah.
And the ones like me that go mixed with more northern people will have blue eyes. And then the other ones that go mixed with lower, they're a little darker. But there's no difference of, oh, you look like that. It's a little more classist.
Do you think growing up in Europe has given you a more open-minded nature in general?
Not at all.
Oh, really?
Not at all. Oh. Because we're not used to differencing, but here, not differencing is racist.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because I would tell people, why would anybody have to pay reparations?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's so racist. You don't know what happened? I'm like, clearly not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spain history, when we study in school, is not history of America.
Right.
It's history, and maybe
Spain.
there's literally no mention of slavery in our books of history.
Wow, that's crazy.
Not because
there had to be slavery in Spain, all right?
But because we don't touch any recent history of America.
Oh yeah.
For us, history goes thousands and thousands of years ago.
Yeah,
it doesn't go when we
200
years or 400 years when we formed this country.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's so interesting.
You're walking around Madrid and you're looking at something from the cave, not the
thousands of years ago. Yeah. Oh wow, I find that so interesting. With the idea of history in mind, I digest like a ton of documentaries and photo books, and I'm constantly trying to like get inspiration from stuff from like the past. When you're like looking to develop new projects or new personal things that you're working on, do you spend a lot of time like watching documentaries and/or photo?
I don't. It does trigger sometimes.
Oh.
So I watch a documentary and it triggers something that I'm interested based on something I don't know enough about.
Yeah.
But also, I can look at Shire right now that is right behind getting some drinks, and I can think there is a lot of shit I don't know about Shire, and I could know more about him and maybe expand on his experience as growing up or whatever. And that's kind of what, basically combating my own
Ignorance.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, it is. And here is very easy because my ignorance is unlimited. In this country.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I think you gotta give yourself a little bit of credit.
Sure. I mean, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
That's my credit.
No, I like that. When you start like coming on like the doorstep of like a big birthday and you start looking forward to like what the next chapter of your life is, not just as a photographer, but like as a father and like just as a human, do you start marking down like goals that you have for like a year from now, 5 years from now, stuff to accomplish by 45, by 50? Like, do you do that?
Do you have kids?
0.
Okay, I have 2 kids, and I think I abandoned that a long time ago because my goal is that my kids have everything they need.
I love that.
And also in the meantime, if I can shoot as much as I can, and they don't notice that I'm gone, that would be great.
That's nice.
But I think my own goals are, keep shooting as much as I can, keep writing as much as I can. If I can, that's not a priority anymore. But we're about just to do like a trip from Miami to LA and motorcycles.
Damn.
So if I can document that with Bowser, who I shoot with a lot, that's good. But I don't have a defined goal for myself other than keep putting food on the table, keep the kids, happy as I can, and not create any traumas on them that I'm not already creating by accident. And we also have another kid coming our way, so a third one
Amazing.
to screw it up with.
My brother has 4 for what it's worth, so yeah.
So yeah, if I can do one documentary or one, whether it's video, whether it's a photography documentary that reduces my level of ignorance a little bit, that's a goal.
Oh, I really like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think that's something that I've struggled with recently because it's like everything's happening really quick, right? So it's like all of my career is starting and cultivating and growing simultaneously. So it's hard to like put pen to paper on what I would like to do, right? I don't have time to think about it really so much as like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. I probably won't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't have these great, like grandiose ideas of something that I want.
Very easy. How much, and I'm going to just put you in my country because I know it more than others. How much do you know about bullfighting?
Just what I've seen on TV.
Go do a deep research on it in Spain.
Okay. Done.
You know what I mean? It's a challenge. Last year I went to do a motorcycle tour through Mongolia. And I didn't fucking know what Mongolia was, by the way.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's
is tiny.
No.
Yeah.
It's a humongous country.
Oh, Mongolia's huge?
With nothing on it.
Oh.
There's nothing
They've
there.
got a giant statue of Genghis Khan, though, right? Like
Correct.
something massive.
Genghis Khan is everything for them.
Yeah.
Which makes you question everything you know. Which is another thing I like. Call me conspirational if you want. But I think what we know is not for sure real.
Yeah.
Mongolia
Great
is
stories.
an incredible, great stories from the Mongolian people. Motorcycles was just a vehicle we were using, but I tried and tell the story of the people. And, discover a little bit their land, which is incredible. They're like, in a period of an hour, you're in deep, humid forest to the desert dunes.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
That is wild.
Like I was saying, anything that I think, I know nothing about this.
Yeah.
Maybe I should know a little bit about it.
I really like that. I'm going to steal that. I really like that.
So yeah, I think picking a project now is easy, but I didn't know either how to do it. But now, then I started thinking, what do I know nothing about?
Do you get like that paralysis of decision making when it comes to a project? Because like for me, when I was like starting, my first personal project that I did was a portrait project of just like back portraits of people, monolight and like very statuesque. And it was like, so just like I had this idea to shoot backs, right? In studio, on a pedestal, backs. And it was nothing. I guess it was not complicated. It's very simple. It's very easy. It took me a while to come up with this idea because I have like 100 fucking ideas, and it's like the paralysis of which one do I do? What is important? And then it's like you have to just trick yourself and tell, dude, just fucking do something.
It happens, but to me, the challenge is money and time.
Yeah.
Because I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And when can I stop to
And
go
kids.
When can I stop to go to India?
Yeah.
For like 15 days to shoot and then pay for it, and the job is not telling me, can you come back now? And
Yeah.
So my paralysis is more about picking the right things and when to put them in the calendar than procrastination or overlooking at them. And
do you think that came with like time because you've been doing this for a while? So like that mentality, do you think that?
I don't think
have
so.
you
I
always?
think it's
okay.
with time limiting resources.
Yeah.
I know that I have 15 days of vacation a day, and that I have to use them and also visiting my family in Spain.
Yeah.
So it's very limited what I can do on my time off, and I think unless I use very well the days, I just miss them, and then the end of the year will look very sad.
Listen,
I didn't get to do it.
I totally agree. I mean, like the great joy in my life is like, when we're talking about homeless people and like being thankful for what you have, like the time that I have with my family is far and away the most important thing that I have, right? Whether it's like a Tuesday dinner at my brother's house or pancakes with my dad on a Thursday morning, like whatever it is, that trumps almost anything. And like that's something that like I wish I knew sooner, right? Like I was like kind of a punk ass fuck face when I was in my 20s.
At least you
Yeah.
know now.
Well, it comes with time.
You can always think about that, though.
Yeah.
You can always think, I wish I knew it sooner, but now you know it.
Yeah.
Your father's still here.
Yeah.
And you can still do it. Your father might think it's very weird that you want him to make your pancakes now.
No, I take I take them out. We buy them. I don't make them cook for me.
Cook for me, man. And then it's like, bro, you're 40.
I'm like knocking on the door. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for pancakes. He's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Go home.
Sunday, motherfucker. Where are my pancakes?
He's gonna get a kick out of that.
Why are you doing it in my house?
No. He's gonna get a kick out of that. No, literally, we go to a pancake store. We go once a week. Try to. That's fucking hilarious.
I'm wondering you. Give me my pancakes.
Oh man.
Relationship.
Oh man, he's gonna get a kick out of that. That's hilarious. No, but like it is one of those great joys. Like as I've gotten older, is realizing what is important, because I think that is a superpower. Like figuring out the things that are important to me that make my life more fulfilled. I don't know that I knew that 5 years ago. I don't know that I knew that 3 years ago. It's something that I developed recently that I think is my new superpower.
It's something that I voluntarily ignore, because when you live 9,000 miles away from your family,
Yeah.
you count. Let's just say my father is 68.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be generous and say that he's gonna live to 88.
Yes.
So we're saying he has 20 years left.
You will see him 20 more times.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
I do make him come often, so I multiply those times, or as much as I can guilt trip him into it. But I mean, I don't want to think about that, because I do appreciate the time, but also family is annoying, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they're like, when they come from Spain and they're like, "Oh, we're staying for a month," I'm like, "Awesome."
Yeah, sweet.
This
That's
is
just
great.
what I wanted.
I guess I don't miss you that much.
I'm gonna have a kid in a couple months and 2 kids
So
going to school.
busy.
Yeah, this
oh yeah,
is-
we'll stay there for a month and a half to take care of the kid. I was like, we're good. We'll put him back in. No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I my dad's 78, so he's a lot older than yours. He had 6 bypass heart surgery 14 years ago. So it's funny, like we still argue about dumb shit, right? Like over the dumbest things. It's like, ooh, I don't want the last thing I say to my dad was like, "You're a fucking idiot," over like some.
Probably don't tell that to your dad.
No, I do. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not, I don't pull back. Like, he says some dumb shit. I love you, but he says some dumb shit, mostly centered around politics that I just don't relate to at all. And, and or his feelings on certain movies that are just,
Quick question.
yeah.
Have you done an episode with your father?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You should watch it. He's dying to come on again. We're going to get it done soon.
You're saying a lot of shit for him to not be able to respond
No,
to you.
he loves it. No, my dad is my #1 podcast fan. He listens or watches to every episode, either on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts. And he's coming on again soon. I want to do one with him, my brother, and my sister, and my dad. My mom will definitely never do it.
So
But
he makes you pancakes, all of you.
listen, my dad has never in my entire life, I'm going to be 40, never made me pancakes.
That's good.
Yeah, my mom was the cook. Thank God. Thank all of us. Fucking, we're very lucky. Yeah, for sure. I'm curious. So you're just in New York for Build and some other stuff. Calendar is winding down. I know it's crazy. Like the summer starting. Like as this busy time enters, like I feel like my mindset is very chaotic, and like getting things diligently tracked and like accomplished is easier said than done a lot of times. I struggle with it a lot. Do you have a similar experience with that? And like, if you do, what kind of things can I learn from you to help me be more mindful about things that I'm supposed to be getting done?
I honestly try and do a to-do list every day, kind of.
On paper or on your phone?
On paper.
Oh, nice.
Because on my phone,
You ignore
I
it.
won't finish it.
Yeah.
But on paper, I try and do a to-do list. And it includes everything. Work stuff, personal stuff. I even sometimes write who I have to call. I try my best to make sure that I keep calling friends.
Yeah. Ooh,
Because if
yeah.
not, they don't call back, and then I
Yeah.
realize, fuck, a year has passed. You know what I mean? And also, when they're out of the country, I was telling you, some of those pepes has moved to New York, to Florida, or whatever. So I make sure that I call them at least once a week, everyone.
That's really nice.
So
Doesn't that come with like a little bit of like, this is going to sound terrible. I at times, I am the person that always reaches out. It is a bit frustrating at times.
I hate it.
Yeah, it sucks, right?
because I ask myself, if I didn't call them, how many weeks or months would have passed until they call me? But then I also ask myself right after, do I care?
Yeah.
Or I just want to talk to them, and that's it.
It's the analogy that I've come with friends and like contact and conversations is there a lot like individual kind of like flowers or trees or stuff, right? Some need a ton of water and a ton of conversations. Some don't, right? So like the ones that you only need to water once a month, it's okay if you don't talk for a couple months because you only need a little bit of water. You're not going to over drown them. And with that mindset, like I've started developing like a pattern of conversating that I think works. But it does at times. It's like I would like someone to call me and ask me how I'm doing.
Right.
Sometimes.
True. And sometimes, and it happens more when I've had a kid and a friend hasn't called me.
Yeah.
And I keep the anger inside for a while. This friend that we used to be close never called me to ask me if my kid was okay or not. You keep it inside until you realize, wait a minute, who am I trying to help here? Do I want to have friends? And why do I want to have them? And then I just go back, and I was like, motherfucker, you didn't call me.
Yeah.
And I, insult them a little bit, and that's it. And
It's
pretty
like-
much that's it. Also, the more often I call them, the less I have to talk to them, which is great, because then I call my buddy Rio, and I was like, what's up? Anything new? We insult each other. We say some jokes that we probably shouldn't air ever, and then
Tell them you love them and hang up.
well, I don't tell I love anyone.
Really?
Never,
Why?
because I saw them.
Oh, I tell people all the time.
Yeah, but I don't trust you then,
Really? Why?
because you need to show me. You don't need to. Tell me.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I'm a very morbid person, so you need to learn that about me. So like things that I think about a lot are like my own death and like when it'll happen, how it'll happen, where I'll be 100 years from now, 2 minutes from now,
Do you have anything left that you need to do before you die?
so much. But
Okay.
number one is I want there never to be any doubt in anybody's mind how I felt about them. I end every phone call, I end up every conversation, I love you. Even if it's like a friend.
Question.
Yeah.
We just met.
I don't love you yet.
No, I know. Let's just say that. Let's just say, which friend did you just hang out, talk to that you told them that you love them?
Two of my best friends, I saw them yesterday, unfortunately at a wake. And I think like
Any of them? Do you think that you would die, and they would question if you love them?
no,
That's it.
it's not up for a question. It's a me thing. It's not about
Right.
I
I think I've shown the close people that I have. I think I've shown them enough, very constantly, to not have any question, or I don't.
I like
need them-
that.
I don't
Yeah.
need them to know by word.
I like-
because they'll be like, "Oh, he did this when he didn't have to."
I think
He
there's
called me
yeah.
every week for
Yeah.
6 years.
Oh, I think actions in a lot of ways speak louder than words, right? Like being for someone for there is equally as like valuable and weighty as saying it. I just get into a habit of like, I want to tell people that I love them. I've gotten baby shit soft as an old man.
We're opposite of that.
It's
That
fine.
is the most uncomfortable thing for me. When somebody tells me, "Oh," it even caused me to even replicate it. When somebody tells me that, I just say, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah.
And I don't know where to hide. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't want to say that.
Listen, you're literally preaching to the choir. For 38 of my years on Earth, never told anybody anything that had anything to do with my feelings.
Right.
And I didn't think that's the best way to be. And I'm not saying that that's you, and I'm not saying that's how you are, because I don't know you that well. I'm just saying I don't want there to be any question for how the people in my life know that I feel.
No,
about
I
them.
understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
So
I just walk away from even compliments.
I'm going to make you uncomfortable by saying that I'm so incredibly appreciative of your time today. And I've got a cheesy line. If you've been on my podcast, you're part of my family. So thank you for being on. Thank you for being part of this podcast.
Don't be telling me that you love me.
Next
though.
time. No, but seriously, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you so
on.
much.
This
I
has
hope
been.
you got anything out of anything.
I got so much out of it. So much.
Well, I'm glad.
You're the man. Thank you so much. I
Thank you so much.
appreciate it. Yeah, take care.